Hello, 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 hello. Greetings. Greetings to everyone. I already see a few friends. Hello, welcome. You are in the studio of Joan of Angels. If you're just hopping on, share it out with your friends. I did not get a chance to share it in any groups at all because I didn't actually pull the whole thing together till right before, like 2.5 hours before. So I'm just going to do this a little bit as we just get started. Guys, you're in, there it is, Joan of Angels. You're in my sanctuary. I am actually wanting to show you right now. So while I'm doing this, do you see this painting? Okay, there it is. That is the view outside my door. In case you're curious. All right, this is not working, so I don't know. Let's see if I can get it done or not. Miracle Monday. Yes, share. Oh my God, there's 60 people shared this. Okay. Welcome. Up. No, I don't want to hear myself. In the studio of Joan or Not. Okay. Hi, Lisa. I see now that you're on. Miracle Monday. Okay, that's not a good idea. Oh, okay, good. All right. So, Deborah, thank you. Good to see you again. And Lisa, good to see you. I love you. Do me a favor, guys. If I go off air, like you can't hear me, which has happened several times, it really helps if maybe one of you two would say, can you hear me now? What do you mean you can't hear me? Let's see. Okay, wait. Are you saying you can't hear me? Lisa, repeat back again. Can you hear me? Can you hear me again? Or Deborah, can you hear me? Going once, going twice, going 3 times. I hear you. Okay. Lisa, if you can't hear you, it has to be your system. So turn it on, lady. Or go to me on your cell phone. Okay, good. So nice to know it being heard. Hello, guys. It is so nice to see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I want you, as I said, to take a look at this painting to my right, which is the Stairway to Heaven, basically. Okay, now how in the world can I share? See, I just wanted to share this live broadcast right here. Okay, give me a minute now. There. Better. Okay, now I feel happier. Now I feel happier. Sort of like being addicted. I'm just clicking. Okay, I'm stopping and paying attention. I didn't share with anyone. That's hysterical. I did all that. Well, maybe it did. Who knows? And who cares anymore? All right, guys, now that you're here, I just came back from an amazing event called Contact in the Desert. And it is a gathering of humans and extraterrestrials. Humans and those who research and study extraterrestrials, those who have messages from extraterrestrials, who are channelers, those who have insight to the space programs and to information about what is really going on, things that are happening up in Antarctica, who's in charge of the planet. Very, very fascinating information. And I found it very inspirational in a lot of ways. So I have been working on that realm, on the extraterrestrial realm for many, many years. Extraterrestrial and paranormal. So I moved to Baja, California in 2010 and founded a group called Baja Paranormal because I was really curious. It was like, what is going on with me? What is going on with the planet? What is there a truth in reality? Hi, John, welcome. So I'm not sure if I've seen you on the show before, so welcome. I go to these conferences. I moved to Baja and started a group called Baja Paranormal so we could explore what is outside the 3D reality. So we're going to be talking a bit about this 3D reality and the life that we might be living in it, and then a little bit about expansion and changing our vibration so we can be in the fifth dimension and higher. And I'll even talk about some of the reasons why you would want to do that. So, we live in a 3D world. We're in our human bodies, but some of us have consciousness and connections with higher beings. Yes, you're on our walk right now. So hello to everyone with Marla. Love you. Good. I want to inspire you. Sheena, how sweet to see you. Welcome. So as I started to have my group, people would come to the group, and I lived in Baja, Mexico, and they would show up. I would have 50, 80, 90 people living in the middle of nowhere, mostly Americans, and a few people who were local Mexican people who also studied the paranormal. So they would bring all their photos, and you would hardly believe this, but even on the way to the events that I would hold, people would come in with photographs of ships that had been following them. And when you would look up into the sky on many days, you'd see a sky that would have 6 or 7 ships or clouds. Let's say that they were clouds, but they looked kind of like saucers. They were all the same size, and they were spread kind of not so random because they were equal distance apart from each other across the sky. They didn't move all day. Not an iota, not an inch, nowhere. They stayed in the sky. So I started to have dreams that I would open the door and there would be these ships outside. I can't believe I'm actually telling you the stories. I don't know. Is anyone interested in this? And there would be stairways that I would be encouraged to go on up to see what was going on in there. Okay? So hi, Audrey. So I'm telling you this story because we have the event that I went to this weekend opened my consciousness to wanting to share that there's all levels of interdimensional beings. Many of the researchers have found that, yes, we have angels. Yes, we have guides. Hello, beloved Kimberly. And yes, we have other beings as well. And even, in fact, many of the ET groups come in interdimensionally. So the reason we don't all see ships out there is that they actually come in interdimensionally and we can see them. So I dedicated my life at that point to studying the influence of extraterrestrials and feeling if I could connect with them. It was before I had always seen angels, but not the way I see them now. So, I see. So I'm telling you the story so you understand the connection. So I followed the thread. Now, part of stepping out of the three-dimensional world is when you start to follow the visions and the guidance that you get, like form a group, Baja Paranormal. In Baja, that was pretty outrageously outside of anything I had considered. But I discovered that people were really hungry for more information. They were hungry, thanks, I see that. They were hungry to begin to understand where we fit in with the universe and this concept that we're not alone. So if you have this feeling that we're not alone here on the planet, say yes. I'm just curious. Yes, we're not alone. That way when I go back, I can see the comments. But if you have that expression or that feeling, or yes, I feel the presence of angels, or I've seen them. So I want to know what levels you guys are at. So please give me your comments, because right now there's not that many people on, so I can actually pay attention. Okay, yes with contact. Yes, extraterrestrials, yes, or yes with angels, or both. Okay, so, and Coast to Coast AM, Audrey, yes. I've been on Coast to Coast, guys, and I love Coast to Coast. If you haven't heard me, Audrey, I was a guest on Coast to Coast last May, 2017, and the subject was ETs and angels. So it's not so surprising that I'm having this discussion with you guys also, because there are really good ETs. There are some that aren't. But they're not really the same as our angels. Our angels really do come in as support team, as masters. They have a different energetics and vibration. So, but we all have ET companions as well, okay? And so just the fact that we're talking about them, oh, see, you saw one when you were I love that, in Albuquerque, and Kimberly saw angels today, her first time. And that was when we were in conversation deep together, they came through. So it's really exciting to connect to that. Very. So the 3D, imagine this is how we're going to look at it for a little while. All right, Kay, I love this. With the Arcturians too. Kay, remind me I have it right here. Holy moly. Okay, here's the Arcturian. And I have to tell you what he's doing. This is planet Earth. Right over here, planet Earth. Oh, God, I'm going to cover my face so you can see him. Planet Earth is over here. And he's part of the Arcturian Galactic Council, sending waves of energy down to the planet for healing, for wisdom, healing, and enlightenment. And also calling their kind, other Arcturians, to awaken to that seed, okay, to that seed and to that energy, and to awaken your memory, okay? Who was it who said the Arcturian? Yeah, to awaken your memory of your galactic origins. It's actually very helpful to remember. It gives us more power, all right? So here we are in our 3D world. And what is our 3D world? Our 3D world, especially maybe till our 50s, 40s, 50s, or 60s, depending on when you programmed your awakening. But our 3D world, I know, Kim, our 3D world is that which is worried about money, worried about housing, worried about food, worried about our boyfriend, worried about how am I going to do this, how am I going to do this, and living in fear. So when I had a very successful practice as a chiropractor, and I was one of the top 0.2% of the female chiropractors in the country, I was very successful. And thank you, KK. If you want this, that was a print. This is the painting, but I showed you the print of the Arcturian. Hi, Larry. So I was one of the most successful chiropractors in the country among the women. And I was totally always scared that I was going to lose it all. And I saw many women on this, that there was this circle. And then sure enough, my fear did it. And I did end up losing everything. So but as I say, we go through these cycles until we get to our activation and awakening points. And so many of you are on here and love my art, like Kay is saying, and talking to me and seeing the extraterrestrials. You're on the show because you heard a call and it said, oops, Joan's on. I got to go hear what she's up to. I have to connect. Yes, Audrey, that's right. The Maslow's hierarchy of needs, food, clothing, shelter. All right, when we don't have that, it becomes a luxury. But now here's some new information. So what if being totally and 100% completely distracted by our 3D world is just a sort of construct, just the way our planet was designed to keep us distracted so that we wouldn't ascend into the higher levels and raise our frequency. Because you see, when I lost everything, getting $10 for food for me and the kids, or even getting a stamp and an envelope could be an all-day affair. So what is normal for some people, you get a paycheck and you write all your bills. For me, took a whole day or 2 days or 5 days to gather these resources. And so who had time to think about my spiritual path? Because I was on my hands and knees praying for miracles. Now, I did, though, because I have a unique way of being. I figured out that if I had a group of people that would have the same that could raise their vibration, and we could sit together and raise our vibration, that would change my energy. And it's true, because we're doing it right here on this show. By my sending out the energy, by us working together, we are having a group vibratory shift into a different way of looking at things, It all helps me when I see your feedback like this, guys. It makes me say, oh my God, it's so exciting. We're really communicating. So when we do this, we want to say, okay, because what happens is we get trapped. We just get trapped. Now, I'll tell you what I learned at the conference this weekend. One of the things I learned is that there's really an agenda, an alien agenda, on the negative side that goes along with, what they call the cabal and those people who run the planet, those people who are poisoning our waters, those people who are poisoning our air and our food, and we wonder what's going on. Well, there's an alien agenda that is about terraforming our planet so that it could serve them and not us. And that their agenda is that us people should work 24 hours a day for them. Well, as I was hearing this, and even they talked about the use of foods as, medical tyranny and poisoning the population through the food, through the water, through the medicine, and all of that. And so raising awareness here, because what's the solution? Well, the solution is starting to change our thoughts and starting to come to center, becoming aware of our own personal power and our connection to Source, and starting to tune into what our own energies are so we can actually raise our light frequencies, which is what will transform the planet and also will attract those beings known as the Alliance, who are the good guys. So I'm really happy to report they are the good guys. But what they want us to do, all right, is to raise our vibrations. And I give you plenty of tools. If you work privately or in groups with me, you'll discover that all we're doing is running this energy up and down and having it spread to all parts of our body so that we can start to be more powerful inside. So how do those things manifest? Well, we have more energy. We feel more alert, smarter, because the cells in our body and our brain are starting to work better. So what are the messages that people receive through these channelings is to, number one, feel your heart and feel into your heart. Number two, start to understand that you're being distracted by your 3D world. And in order to get out of it, we actually have to create our constructs in the 5D world and above, which is where visualization comes in and where beginning to see what we want and where we're going comes in automatically. I'm hoping that this makes sense. You see, when I started painting those 33 angels in 30 days, what happened was that we put them up. My dear friend put them all up, and it was an angel loft. And this book falls off the shelf. Your cry for angelic assistance has been heard. And what was happening, they told me, yes, I can feel those vibrations. Guys, I'm going to stop for a second. I don't want to lose that thought, but you're with me here in the sanctuary. Guys, this is the sanctuary of the Queen Goddess, Joan of Angels. Queen Goddess, Joan of Angels, who has been here really from the beginning of time, whose mission is life, whose work has been to help us remember, to help us raise our vibration so that we don't have to do this over and over and over and over again. And even tonight, I may be talking about feeling star beings and feeling ourselves as star beings. Nevertheless, it's really about hearing our intuition and hearing the guidance that we're being given. So going back to the sanctuary, so this was called the Angel Loft. And I started to feel that tingling in there. There were 33 angels in paintings. And they told me, well, you have to start inviting people to come in so they can feel it. You can't just do it alone. So I trusted it, and I brought people in. It was a little crazy to me. Oh, I painted 33 angels. We have an angel loft. Just show up, please. And friends who liked me, who loved me, would show up. And what did we do? We learned to fluff our wings. And I literally became, by the way, professional wing fluffer. Taught people how to feel the energy, because what they shared with me, because I channeled their messages, is that my job was to help raise people's frequency, including my own, because the only way to really get these clear messages, look how the light just went on, the only way to get these clear messages really is, it's easier for them if we raise our frequency. Can you imagine if Earth is this heavy sludge, okay, and for an angelic being to come down to this Earth is heavy. It's a heavy realm. So the higher we can raise ourselves up, the easier it is for them to work with us. And also, the higher we move on the scale of energy. So we move from fear and attachment and loss and worry. And, I'm a loser. Things don't work right. I'm too fat. I'm too skinny. I'm too smart. I'm too this. I'm too everything. We move from that place to knowing that we are exactly in the right place at the right time, that we attract the right clients, people, business, love, relationships at the right time, because we change our paradigm. We change it by going from the outside in one way and looking at our life and going, well, am I, on a scale of 1 to 10, how happy am I? Yikes, when you really do that, that's powerful. On a scale of 1 to 10, how powerfully am I living the vision and the mission that I came here to do? Am I a 2? Am I a 3? Am I a 10? When I had my chiropractic office, every lecture I would give, I had these in-house lectures 2 or 3 times a month. And I would say, my job is, I was obsessed with Superman, leaping all over tall buildings in a single bound, faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive. That was kind of my theme song for my lecture, because I have always, but even that's what I'm saying to you, even in the 80s in my practice, I was helping align people's energies to be a 10. So I can tell you that this works. And so the ETs have been also channeling down certain messages that have been received. I want to share a few. Number 1, our government actually monitors and follows people who have been abducted and who have had contact experience. They actually know who we are. I say we because I was abducted as a kid, and I've had contact experience as an adult. And what do you think I'm doing here in the studio with my angels? Okay, I am contacting. And I contacted my Arcturians for Kay here, for all of you. They come to me. And the only way I can paint is if I feel them and feel their presence, and they show themselves in a way to me. So so here's what they said. They know, and the government knows, that people who have had this contact experience have more unique abilities than the rest of the population. I hope that's a wow, okay? So that those of you who have had that kind of experience or feel like you might have, these people have more intuition. Check off which ones you have. They have more psychic abilities or developing psychic abilities. They have developing clairvoyance. developing clairaudience, developing clairsentience, meaning you could have it, but it starts to develop if you didn't have it. Literally, like a cork has been popped out of your crown chakra. Okay, so and now I'm going to tell you the second part of this. That's experience with the ETs, with the star beings who are part of the Alliance for the Good of Humanity. My son must forget this. We're going to do it again. Hi, love. Welcome. Say hi to our guests. This is my son.
It is Monday night, and you're having a show. I'm sure it's going fantastic. And I wish everybody just an amazing Monday night.
All right. See, I'm trying. So I'm turning him into a public speaker. Do you have one uplifting motivational message for everyone?
You missed 100% of the shots you don't take. So keep taking those shots.
All right, turn it on. Okay, you're getting some positive feedback on here. Have a safe drive, hon. Put your phone down. Love you. Okay. I told him months ago that if he calls me between 7 and 8, I'm going to put him online. And I know he really hates it. I know he sounded great because he's so good with people. But I'm sure if you could see his face, he would have died. But I'm trying to get him used to the idea, right? Okay, so remind me exactly where we are, guys. Okay, oh yes, so now. So what am I telling you? I'm saying that when we have that contact with divine beings as well. All right, so people who have had contact, and you may or may not remember it, with star beings, all right, who receive these downloads and messages are known to have special gifts. Some people actually can move things with their mind. And I've done some research on a lot of Chinese students, you would not believe this, but developing these very special gifts. And I think there's a lot of hybrid ETs over in China, especially the young generation. I have a chance to teach them in the summer and really experience that full time, but it's really interesting. So if you have any of those special gifts, then understand that they are a product of your contact, your connection. Your channels are being open. Why? Because the more open we are, all right, then the more we can turn our own energy on and have connection with the guidance that is here for us. Because that guidance is what's going to keep us stepping into that which we came here to do. Now, there's another experience. It's not just the extraterrestrials. It's the divine beings. So when you see an angel and have an angel encounter, or you've been touched by an angel, or you've even heard truth and you have chills through your bodies, those divine encounters also open you up to starting to use your divine gifts as well. So, for instance, when people come in here to the studio, it's so exhilarating. It is so exciting because you can have to imagine they walk in, they sit down, or maybe they walk around because they just have to see everything, all right? They walk around and they'll look at different paintings and then suddenly they'll go, Joan, that one just talked to me. Or, Joan, that one just winked to me. Or, oh my God, I just feel a heart connection. And so they begin to talk to you. And I've had renowned people, very famous people who are intuitives and channels and psychics. Tricia McCannon's been here. And what's her bottom line? She walks in and she knew I painted, because she is a friend. She knew I painted. And she had seen this very bad photos. She's a photographer. One of the things she does, so my art didn't show it off right. She walks in here and she says, Joni! She gives me a hug and then she looks beyond me. She says, Joni, do you know Krishna's here? Oh my God, Krishna's in the house. Krishna's in the house. And she starts to get all excited because she can feel him. I met a woman in the supermarket the first year I moved here. And I told her I painted angels, and she said, oh my God, may I see them? So she comes running in this house. I didn't even know her. Maybe I knew her name, but that was it. She comes running in, and the first thing she does is she gets on her hands and her knees, and she starts kneeling. She knew who the Mother Marys were in Jesus, and she starts praying and praying, 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 praying. She starts sobbing, and then she runs out the door. Now, I have no idea what happened. I only know that a miracle happened for her because she was transformed, and she was brought here. So contact with the divine, contact with the extraterrestrials does open our portals to hearing, our intuition, and being able to make right and proper decisions, even being able to hear our heart sing. It's all connected. Audrey, he is very, very grown up. You know, you knew him when he was very little. He is grown up. I'm very proud of my kids. Whew. Now, let's move along, or not. So how does this sound, guys? Make sense to you? You know, some of you are still around, so I'm so grateful to see you. So yes, so the work that we're doing is raising our vibratory frequency. So over the weekend, and I'm sharing some new information because most of you have never heard me talk about extraterrestrials or any of that work. So this weekend, I also had some other unique experiences, and I'm going to share those. So experience number one. Yeah, our vibration is very important, guys. Our vibration is the way we're going to get to the heavenly realms. Okay, our vibration is the way we're going to manifest that which we came here to do. If you're in the state of complaining, woe and woe is me kind of place, ain't going to happen. Because victim status is low in the dimensional frequencies. If we have a scale here, 0 to 10, okay, and learning how to flip this switch, and we can do it with everything, health, wealth, and happiness. But if we looked and we said, where on a scale of 1 to 10 is my self-love? So asking you all right now, where am I on self-love? Am I a 10? Am I a 3? Does it vacillate? Do I love myself when people, when I'm out in the world, and hate myself when I get home? Or do I give more energy to everyone else and not to myself? Where are you on self-love? Because that's really important. Beautiful Kay, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And everyone needs to assess their own place. But if it's not where you want to be, then these are tools to teach you how to go. So Helena, 7 is fabulous, okay? It's certainly better than a 5, which is sort of neutral. But transformation and enlightenment and high vibration ascension happens when we have those moments moving up to the 10, where we're in this alignment, where our body energies are sending healing from the top down, inside out, waking up every cell in our body, every memory, and aligning body, mind, spirit. So, and when we want to kill all the cancer cells, we have to be a 10 if we're going to use that kind of energy. So I'm going to share this experience, and I'm going to teach you guys how to do this, okay? Anyone game? I'm going to show you how to raise these vibrations on your own. So when you're not with me, you got it. So I'm at the conference, and it's yesterday, Sunday, and I saw a dear, beloved friend, client of mine, sitting at the next table. And I go running over to him. Now, first thing I'm going to tell you, I was so excited to see him that I fell flat on my face in front of him. Helena, if you want to be a 10, I'll send you right to the link. It's on my website. It's called Power On. And it's the beginning stages of learning how to become a 10. Now, so here I am. All right, I see this guy who I love and adore, and he's a filmmaker, and he likes me too, and we're friends, and I haven't seen him very much, and there he is, and he has a new film coming out, and it's exciting for him. And what happens? I'm so fixated on seeing him that first I fall flat on my face. Now, why am I telling you that? I'm telling you that because it's so embarrassing. Because I just left the table of a man that that I also wanted to impress a bit, you know. I didn't want him to see me falling flat on my face. I'm a goddess, for Pete's sakes, right? So, and I also want you to understand I'm really human. And I'm doing what Spirit is telling me to do, but honestly, I'm human. So I made a fool of myself in the restaurant. Thank you, God, it was carpet. I get up, and he looks at me, Joan, are you all right? So now what happened to my vibration? I want you to know that falling did this, flattened me out like this now. Okay, because right, there's Kay saying, you poor thing, you know, so now she's seeing me as this poor little wimpy little victim, and we all know what it's like. Here I was trying to be the goddess and, you know, falling flat and humbling myself. So I get up, I brush myself off, you know, and try to ignore the whole thing, and I sit down with him, and we chat for a second, and I see this thing around his neck, and I ask him about it. And he had just gotten it from someone else. And thank you, sweetheart. He had just gotten it from someone else who was a vendor over there. And he says, but you know, I don't feel any energy from it. And then he said, well, you know, Joan, I don't feel any energy from anything at all, actually. And I said, hi, Fred. I said, do you want to feel energy? So he took it off. And that's the beginning of reprogramming. And by the way, even if I send you a necklace and you get one of my medallions, you really ought to place it in a sacred place for a few hours, charge it. You can put it under the moon, put it in salt, sage it, because you really want to have the frequency to you. Although when I know where it's going, I do, but it's always good to even if someone gives you a necklace or a gift, to make it aligned for you. Okay. So anyway, so he had no idea, fabulous filmmaker, but he had no idea about energy. So I sat there, and now here's the show and tell part. Okay. So remember I said, and I really do, if I didn't say it, I mean to say that when we start these shows, one of my missions is to raise frequency here on the planet, not just for me, not just for you, but when our frequency together is raised, then we're higher than one person alone. So if I'm over here, but we're all collectively working together, we can be the 10. We can be that avatar collective that will raise people's frequencies, millions of people's ultimately. And so that's part of creating this activation vortex, which is what we're doing. All right. So learning how to feel energy and receiving it while you're here in this sanctuary, which is, of course, a place where much divine energy is being beamed to you, is really important. So rub your hands together really fast. Okay. Rub them together, and then, so rub them like this. Pay attention to what you're going to feel. Bring your hands apart and see where you can feel energy. Boy, now I wish I could see you. Okay? Now I wish I could see all of you in your own homes. So start to go like this. Start to go like this. Can you feel the energy in your own hands? All right, I want you to feel it. Feel it, feel it. Got to shift the screen a little bit. Good, good. Who's feeling that energy? Okay, feeling into that energy now. Let's go this way. I'm trying to sort of, there's something I want to accomplish. Okay, with my right hand, I am sending energy to you. And I want you to put your left hand up to the screen, okay? So I'm going to send energy from my right hand, sending it out, out, out to you. And I want you to see if you could feel it in your hand. Now I'm going to run it like this, okay? Run it like this. Do you feel when I run it? Okay. Ooh. All right. Now, I'm going to, let's see who's on. So I want to take some of you. How do I want to do this? All right, so let's do it. So Fred, Kay, Kimberly, and Helena, I want you to rub your hands together and with your right hand send the energy out. And I want the rest of you who are on here to hold your left hand up to receive it. And then I want to hear from you lefties if you're feeling it and when. All right, because this is starting to open up your channels so that we can, if you work with me privately, you'll get it, but you'll also learn all about this, how to turn on your channels to become the highest vibrations you can. Hi, Joyce. Welcome to our high vibrational frequency. So, rubbing your hands together. The 4 people that I mentioned, I want your right hand sending energy to us. All of you left-handed, all of you who we've called the lefties, I want you to put your left hand to the screen to see if you can feel the energy. Put your left hand there. So when you feel that energy, if you would comment and say, I feel that energy, knowing that the right hand sends energy and your left hand receives. Your right side is your male side, your left side is your female. Sending, receiving, feeling into it. Complex, right? Complex. So did any of you receive? Did any of you feel yourself sending? Just a thought, okay? Yes, already energy. Well, good. I know that you already feel energy right then and there. Okay, good. Now, let's go back to this. Rub your hands together, okay? And I, right now, from the sanctuary, are going to send energy out to you. Mother, Father, God, we ask just now, thank you, that we will be filled and surrounded and protected with light, with love, with energy. We ask that we as a collective begin to energetically sending our roots down to the center of the earth and sending our antennas up to the heavens. And some of you I have taught this to, so you can help us to feel that energy. Yes, to feel that energy grounding through us and holding up our hands so we can send that energy out for healing, to raise the frequency, creating a portal that surrounds each and every one of you from the sanctuary here in the desert out across the globe, wherever you are, creating an activation grid. And within this activation grid, we can start to turn our meters up to a 10. We can start to turn on our energies, and we can start to shift. Now, holding our hands up in the air, I want you to imagine right now, where is the Arcturian here? I want you to see the earth. Gotta find the earth. Oh, gosh. See that little earth in that corner there? The earth. Okay, good. All of you now, when I count, I want you to rub your hands, and when I count to 3, I want you to start sending healing to planet Earth. From the outside in, sending healing from your hands and imagining that we're spreading peace and love and harmony and raising the vibratory frequency of our planet to a 10. That we are part of this galactic global council that's lifting the frequency of Earth. That we're part of the divine beings and the angelic realms that are working to support us to raise our vibratory frequency. Amen. And so it is. Because I am feeling it. Whew. So I also want to tell you that I sat in classes that talked about how there's a galactic alliance. That there were, well, first of all, the bad news was that there's something called the International Corporate Globals, something like that, intergalactic corporations. So many of our top corporations here, the top ones, have also corporations seated throughout the galaxy. They also talked about the galactic councils, so that throughout the galaxy, and the ability to become your own personal ambassador. So should you desire to be where Kay is talking about this huge energy, and this part of this, they say it's our personal ascension. That is what will shift our planet. So I'm asking you to do this. Do this with me. Do this with all of us so that we can send the blast of energy to our planet. I have chills more than I've ever had on this show from all of you. Electric, I'm hearing. Marla, I feel the energy. Sherry, Kimberly sending it. And yes, welcome to my world. Welcome to the desert, to the heart sanctuary, where we thrive on creating this kind of work to raise your frequency, to teach you how to turn around and work with the people you love, and to teach you that it's safe to use your gifts of clairsentience and cognizant and clairvoyance and clairaudience and clair everything. What is clair? It's clarity. It's the ability to see through the traps. Okay, it's the ability to start to walk in a higher path and start attracting to us those people who are 10s. I have a lot of clients that come and say, Joan, when am I going to meet my true love? Well, do you want to meet your true love when you're a 3? Come on. Really? Really? You want to, you're feeling like you're at the bottom of the universe? That's when you think you're going to meet the right man? You have work to do. So when we want to have the right and proper companionship, we want to raise our vibration to be at the vibratory level to attract he who is or she who is at that level for us. Why? Well, because when you're people like us, many of us attract lower vibrational partners. It's as if we have a sign that says, take advantage of us, and lower vibrational partners. But we're not going to do that anymore, because we're going to see those traps, because we're going to say, oh my God, I'm feeling fabulous today. And when I'm around John, I feel terrible, right? I feel terrible. And then as women, what do we say? We go, oh, well, there's something wrong with me. Or he said that there's something. No, you feel terrible because the vibratory frequency of the two of you together is low. That's a 3D relationship. That's what we're talking about, guys. How to align ourselves so our relationships are a 10. The people in our auric field that come in are a 10. That wherever we go, we have these experiences of mastery. So I go to the conference and I run into some people I know. So Michael, I taught him how to tune up and feel this energy so he could feel his new pendulum. And I actually cleared the pendulum so he could feel it. Okay. Friday night I'm there and I'm online, and a lot of people were there. So Friday night we're online. I mean, I'm online, like a real physical line for dinner. Got my little ticket, and this cute couple walks up. And, I'm trying to be friendly, so we start talking. And they're from Canada, very happy people, and they listen to George Noory, and I go, oh, I was on George last year. And she says, well, what's your name? And I said, well, Joan of Angels. And she said, basically, she said, oh, and she looks at her husband, didn't we hear that? Turned out that she had heard me on George Noory. If you haven't heard me, you can get it off. I'm sure it's on my website. It's a great show. ETs and angels. I can hardly believe we're having this conversation tonight. So she said that she had heard me. And she and I, we talked about a little bit about what I'm doing, and, told her I was in town if she wanted a reading, because I only lived 45 minutes away if she wanted a session with me. And so 2 days later, I guess that was Friday, Sunday, I get a call from her. She wants to work with me. So I'm talking to her on the phone, and this is what she says. She said, well, Joan, a year ago, because it was last May, I heard you on Coast to Coast. I went to your website, and I really wanted to work with you. But, I said, one day. And she said, so I saw you Friday night, and I still said one day, until it was like an angel hit me on the head, and it was like, whoa, wait a minute. you have a chance to see her. You have a chance to physically be in her presence and to talk to her. And so she reached out to me, and we had a session today, and we really talked about this concept of what one day means. You know, when we wait till the right timing, guys, and sometimes it's the right timing. So I want to kind of align with some of what I'm telling you, and I'm hoping that it's sitting with you in a new way. It's not my usual show. I'm hoping you like it and feel the energy, but it is. It's about true things. So my guides, and I'm very much in contact with my guides, always. When I do sessions with people, they tell me things they want me to do. I'm always saying, oh, wait, I just heard this, I just heard that. And it's always amazing to me how accurate we are, and I'm very grateful. It's like a miracle to me. When I lost everything in the beginning, one of the things I prayed to Spirit was if they would help me recover and have miracles in my life, I promised to commit myself to supporting and to helping others have their miracles and to raise their vibrations. So in a sense, I'm paying it forward and, of course, asking you guys to pay it forward. All right. Kay Withers. Hi, sweetheart. I'm glad you stumbled on this too. I love all your feedback, honey. Okay, so this is a new deck. This is not my Joan of Angels deck. I was inspired. So I have gazillions of decks, by the way, not just my own, but this is a contact deck. The cover of it is contact cards, an extraterrestrial divination system. And yes, it's the first time I've ever taken them out in public. I'm thrilled to take them out in public. And I'm going to pull a card that's for all of you. And you may say, well, how can one card be for all of us? Well, it is. It's going to touch something in your consciousness that's pretty relevant. And one for the planet, okay? And that's how we're going to have to do it. So the first one is for all of you. So guys, it doesn't matter whether your question is about health, wealth, or happiness, or personal transformation. This card is for whatever is in your heart that you would really like to know, like, who am I? What am I here to do? Why is this show about the star beings resonating with me? How did I find Joan? What does that mean? Okay, well, those who know me, you guys can tell them what it means for you. All I know is that I love all of you, and I'm so grateful that you actually talk to me and play with me online like this. Okay, so this card is called Stars. And remember, this is your message, yours. So I can name all of your names to really make it a little more personal for you. So this is a message for Kay. It's a message for Kimberly. It's a message for Lisa. It's a message for Sherry. It's a message for Helena. Kimberly, I already said, going down. I don't want to miss anyone. It's a message for Joyce. It's a message for Marla and Sherry and Fred and Audrey. It is a message for Joyce. It's a message for Joan of Angels. It's a message for, I hope you can see it because who knows now if you can see it. It's a message for Fred. Okay, I think I got everyone. Audrey, Lisa, Deborah. Yeah, we're at the bottom of this list. Good. Okay, what does it look like? A pulsating star. Whew. So the first message, all right, from our star friends for each and every one of you. Oh, yeah. Okay, they're going to reinforce this concept of being like a beam, a tower of light. Okay, and they are grateful, by the way, when we help them raising vibratory frequency. Okay, so when the pulsar announces his presence, is it upside down? We can be assured that important events are about to reveal themselves in our lives. This is also the energy that heralds an imminent breakthrough to a new level of interaction, either internally or externally, or signals that we are on the verge of being recognized, celebrated, or honored for our accomplishments. So remember, we talked about how it's time to celebrate our gifts. and celebrate why we're here. And so it's important to raise our vibration, to turn our frequency on so that we can do our work. You know, if you go to work as a 3, then you're giving off all of that energy. But if you go to work as a 10, you are spreading light, love, and happiness no matter where you are. Okay? So what is this card? It's telling us to do exactly what we're talking about. Much public attention can follow. New situations will unfold. Okay? Wow. In another context, it's a cry for attention from ourselves, okay, to acknowledge who we are and how to move ourselves forward. Like lighthouses, we can send our beacons into the night and help other people who are depressed and lonely and trapped in their 3D world. So when we are a 10 and a beacon and a star, when we send our light out, it literally shatters the depression. It changes people's lives, okay? So, and the last thing this star pulsar is for each and every one of you is to believe in yourselves. Absolutely. It says, with our hands firmly on this pulse, we will learn how to respond in the most constructive and beneficial ways for all concerned, including ourselves. Most significantly, this pulsar urges us to believe in ourselves with unshakable faith. Unshakable faith. Faith, confidence, and belief. Okay? Untapped inner strength. You have reserves, my loves. You do not know about them. And we must pull ourselves out of victimhood and martyrdom, because that's the lowest of our 3D thinking, and it is time for you to put on this higher vibrational groove. Okay, I thought that card was very, very appropriate. Okay, I did a card for the planet, and it's an interesting card. It's not the one I would have picked, but I ain't putting it back because it represents more than what we know. Okay, it is the symbol of the swastika, which is actually a very ancient symbol. It's not a symbol of what we've been trained to think of it. It's actually a sorcerer. It's an ancient symbol. It says, choices radiate from my hub. So we pulled this card for the planet. Know that choices are radiating for the planet. The planet itself, it says, is at a crossroad. And that the more we seek to influence the planet through the higher vibrations, then the higher the path the planet will take. So, how do we do that? We rub our hands together. Now, we're going to be closing in a couple of minutes, so you might as well do it with me. Okay, so before we do that, actually, I do want to close with a few pieces of information. Do I have any Sedona fans here? All right, I'm going to be in Sedona. If I'm going to be in Sedona, check it out, because I'm doing an event on the solstice, and it's actually going to be an exciting event. Okay, there you have it. I told you about it. This one is my event in Irvine in the fall, October. Some of you, I think, are going to be coming. I hope you do if you live in Southern Cal. Some of the best speakers in the world. This is called Ascension because it's very high frequency. I totally approve of this one. And the people who are doing it, Neil and Soul, are extremely high vibrational friends of mine. So you can also live stream it, which is great. Okay, now how do I get the other one? Oh, is that it? Yeah, we don't need that. Okay, go away. No, I hid myself. There, go away. Okay, by the way, I want to show you this painting. In talking about higher vibrational ascension, you can see that when we close our eyes at night, those are the places we could see. All right? Hi, Rosa, you caught us at our tail end, honey. Hi, Emily. You guys are just going to have to listen. I'll be posting it on the page in a little bit. This is angels that are ascending to heaven. when I first moved here, I said to the desert, I was very lonely. And I said, why am I here? Kay, you can hear it on live stream, which would be also very powerful. 3 days of some of the best speakers on the planet. So I said, why am I here? Please show me. And then they sent me these pictures of this ascension up into the mountains of our beingness. Now, all of you have the abilities within yourself to use every single tool that I have discussed tonight. We're discussing the higher vibration extraterrestrials and the divine beings so that we can start to learn how to connect with you. If you missed the show, then start from the very beginning. And Sherry, go to Joan of Angels. Please like my page, guys. I want to be over 800. I've been at 700 too long. I want to know more of you. I want to just love on you. I want to just help you raise your energy so you know why you're here. All right, my loves. Oh yes. Okay. My guide said, Joan, how could you leave? I didn't show you. We didn't close with our meditation, of course. And they also want me to share one of the miracle messages from the Masters of Miracles. Now, last week, guys, I sent out medallions to everyone who bought a deck, and I infused and charged those decks and those medallions. All right. Well, I always charge the decks. I always charge the medallions, but I gifted the medallions to anyone who bought a deck last week after the show, and I'm going to do the same thing this week because it was really fun to just charge them up for you. So this is my deck, and we are going to pull a card. And Sherry, I'm going to be there June 22nd. Okay, lots of wonderful places to stay there. Nothing could be better than Sedona, probably in that high energies. And so if you're called, you will. All right, guys, this is the Masters of Miracles. Oh, well, what card did I do? I pulled the message card that talks about the miracle pathway, which is the pathway that leads us to this path we're going. And then I pulled the miracle Krishna. So I am granting all your wishes. May your dreams are coming true, and celebrate. That really goes along with Pulsar, and it really goes along with expanding your consciousness into new directions. So imagine tonight when you're going to bed that you're riding on this sled. All of your wishes and dreams are being granted, okay? And if you wish to contact your guides and angels, then tell them that. Okay, closing. Reach out to me if you have any questions or comments about anything. I love your feedback. It makes me feel like I'm not talking to myself, and it also gives me clarity on I just love it that you show up, so thank you. Share me with your friends, because that card about being a star also applies to me. And my guides told me that come summer of 2018, my work was going to be coming out into the world and reaching more of you, and that the doors would open. So may the doors open for all of us to do the work that we're here to do. May the stars align. May we learn how to walk in balance and turn on our personal power so that we can be the light, that we can resonate this light, that we can be who we came to be and share our gifts with those who are waiting for us to share our gifts with them. So Mother, Father, God, we are so grateful for being able to come together. We are so grateful to share this energy and sending love and light from the Desert Heart Sanctuary to each and every one of you and to our beloved planet. And we ask that you receive this in the divine sense that it has been sent, and that you continue to be part of this shining light, knowing that I am doing my job, which is to help you raise your frequency. Your job is, when you say yes to doing that, then to raise it so that as a 10 you can support this planet as well. And you do that by sharing your special and unique gifts. Audrey and Vanessa and Rosa and Sherry, you came in with your own gifts. They are uniquely yours. I cannot do what you are going to do. I can only help you remember why you have those gifts and what you're here to use them for, and help you learn to master them. Master them so that you can be who you came here to do. I share this work from the bottom of my heart. These are workshops that I will post it on YouTube. I'm over 100 now on YouTube. By the way, this Miracle Mastery deck has 44. If you go to my playlist on YouTube, there's a playlist of 44 Days of Awakening. So there's obviously 44 cards, 44 videos, and some of them I'm getting feedback are gosh darn good and helpful. All right. And if you're in despair, go listen to the guided meditations because some of those are really good. I'm so grateful that I listen to Spirit. If they're good, it's because I'm listening. All right, guys. Thank you so much for stepping out of your 3D life and joining me in the resonance of the Desert Heart Sanctuary. Sherry, thank you. I'm touched by all of you. I will see you next week. I'm trying to honor my commitment of showing up on Mondays. Please reach out. Love you, love you, love you. From the Desert Heart Sanctuary. Bye for now.